Victor Von Doom did not destroy the planet. He fixed it. In one world under Doom, Dr. Doom became Sorcerer Supreme, crowned himself Emperor of United Latveria, and turned the entire Earth into his kingdom. War ended. Poverty collapsed. Healthcare became universal. For the average citizen, life under Doom was safer than it had ever been under democracy. That is where this story begins, and that is why the Avengers could not simply punch their way out of it. The groundwork was laid during Blood Hunt. Doctor Strange was forced to surrender the Sorcerer Supreme mantle to Victor Von Doom to save humanity from the vampire crisis. Doom did not treat that title as a trophy. He treated it as a tool. He retreated to Latveria and spent months fusing his scientific genius with the highest tier of magic on Earth. When he returned to the world stage, he was no longer just a dictator with robots. He was a sorcerer emperor with a plan. Doom did not invade country by country. He cast a single spell that declared the whole planet United Latveria and himself its undisputed ruler. Every screen, every broadcast, every communication network carried his decree. Nations did not fall to missiles. They fell to magic so absolute that resistance looked irrational. World leaders who might have called for war instead watched Doom outlaw conflict, redistribute resources, and rebuild infrastructure at a speed no democracy could match. Ryan North's run did something villains rarely do on the page. It made Doom's rule work. Hunger dropped. Hospitals functioned. The wars that had burned for generations went quiet. Doom was not oppressing the masses for sport. He was correcting the planet the way he had always claimed he would, with total control and zero tolerance for inefficiency. The horror was not that he failed. The horror was that he succeeded so completely the world started accepting him. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, the Fantastic Four, every hero built to stop tyranny suddenly faced a tyranny that fed people. How do you justify overthrowing a dictator when doing so means putting millions back into poverty and restarting the wars Doom ended? The Avengers were not beaten on the battlefield. They were beaten by arithmetic. Doom made the moral math impossible. Every day they waited, more of the world decided his peace was worth the crown. From Latveria's castle, Doom governed like a man who believed he had already won history. His Doombots patrolled borders. His science cured plagues his predecessors had monetized. His magic sealed holes in reality other sorcerers feared to touch. He was not hiding behind a mask of benevolence. He was genuinely convinced that only he could steward Earth, and the results on the ground kept agreeing with him. That confidence would become the crack the story needs. Absolute power still had a human anchor. Valeria Richards, daughter of Reed Richards, goddaughter of Victor Von Doom. When Valeria was born, Reed could not save her. Doom stepped in with magic and demanded the right to name her. Over the years, she became the one soul allowed to criticize Doom to his face and walk out alive. Every other relationship in his life was strategy. Valeria was family. The Fantastic Four and the Avengers finally mounted a counteroffensive large enough to threaten Doom's global reign. Doom felt the world slipping. His utopia, which had looked permanent from the throne, suddenly had an expiration date measured in weeks. Desperation does not make Victor Von Doom humble. It makes him escalate. And the person caught between Earth's heroes and Earth's emperor was the girl both sides claimed as theirs, Valeria. Doom prepared a spell designed to lock his authority into the fabric of time itself, not just ruling the present, but making his reign structurally inevitable. Magic at that scale always demands a sacrifice. Doom believed he could cheat the price the way he had cheated death 100 times before. He was wrong. The spell did not take his life. It searched for the anchor of his humanity and found Valeria. The ritual backfired. Valeria Richards died in the feedback. Doom did not lose the throne to the Avengers. He did not lose it to Reed Richards. He lost it to his own ambition. Broken, he begged the Vishanti, the supreme mystical powers of the Marvel Universe, to restore her. They looked at the Sorcerer Supreme and said no. For the first time in his life, Victor Von Doom had power over everything except the one death he could not undo. Grief did what armies could not. Emperor Doom abdicated. He took off the crown, walked out of Latveria, and vanished. Not a tactical retreat. Not a feint. A man who had conquered Earth and fixed it abandoned everything because the cost finally exceeded his appetite. The utopia collapsed emotionally before it collapsed politically. And Victor left behind the most dangerous inheritance in the Marvel Universe, a kingdom with no king and every weapon unlocked. Doom did not scuttle his arsenal on the way out. Latveria remained the most advanced nation on Earth. Doombots dormant but intact, sorcery artifacts unsealed, laboratories still humming. The future-seeing machine Doom had built but never fully exploited still waiting in the dark. It was a superpower's entire military-industrial stack with the front door open. The United Nations argued over partitions. Black Ops teams restarted Weapon X protocols. Everyone talked. Nobody secured the castle fast enough. Chip Starsky had been building this pressure in Captain America. The idea that Latveria's vacuum would not stay theoretical. Politicians would debate sovereignty. Intelligence agencies would run covert grabs. And while the world argued about who deserved Doom's tech, one man decided that if institutions would not act, a soldier would. General Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, had spent a lifetime turning military crises into military solutions. Latveria was the largest crisis on the board. Casual readers think Red Hulk is simply Hulk painted red. Ross is a different species of monster. Bruce Banner is a scientist cursed by his own creation, brilliant, but at war with himself. Ross is a 4-star general who treats the Red Hulk form as a weapon he deploys. He keeps his tactical mind online while the Gamma body executes. Every strike is planned. Every invasion is logistics. He walked into Latveria the way he would walk into a hostile province. Assessment first, conquest second. There was no epic siege. Ross bypassed Doom's security with military intelligence, activated the dormant Doombot army, and claimed Latveria as a secured zone. Army taken. Weapons taken. Throne taken. He framed it as stabilization. The world could not afford a power vacuum at the center of Marvel's geopolitics. But Ross did not stop at the border. He began exporting Doom's correction playbook. Doombots deployed into conflicts. Neighboring territories absorbed under the language of peacekeeping. Doom's methods. Ross's rank. In Doom's private archives, Ross found the deadliest tool the Emperor left behind. A machine that does not calculate probabilities. It witnesses possible futures. When Captain America organized an infiltration, Ross had already watched it succeed and fail 1,000 times. When the Fantastic Four flanked Latverian positions, firing squads of Doombots waited at the exact coordinates. The Avengers were not outgunned. They were out-informed. Strength does not matter when your opponent has already played the match in his head. Avengers Armageddon #1 opens with Earth's mightiest heroes walking into a rigged chess game. Chip Starsky, Frank Alpizar, and Delio Diaz stage the conflict as information warfare first and punching second. Thor still hits like a god. Iron Man still invents on the fly. Captain America still leads flawlessly. None of it matters when Ross has seen the play before the play is called. Marvel marketed this event as the biggest Avengers shakeup since Disassembled, and the first issue earns that claim on the board, not in the marketing copy. The middle of Armageddon is not about who punches harder. It is about whether heroism can survive perfect prediction. Ross does not need to be stronger than the Avengers. He needs to be earlier. Every feint they throw has a counterweighting. Every alliance they form has a leak Ross already exploited in a timeline branch. The horror of the event is watching competent heroes lose while doing everything right, because the battlefield itself has been solved before they arrive. Marvel's answer is not a bigger hammer. It is David Colton, introduced in Wolverine, Weapons of Armageddon as a new hero born from restarted Weapon X experiments tied to the unstable Origin box artifact. Colton did not exist when Doom built the future machine. His timeline rewrites itself constantly. He is the blind spot, the piece on the board with no file, no prediction, no clean counter. To beat a general who sees every future, you do not send someone stronger. You send someone the machine has never met. That is the complete pipeline from one world under Doom to Avengers Armageddon. A dictator who fixed the world, a spell that killed the one person he loved, a throne abandoned with every weapon unlocked, and a general who turned Doom's own foresight into the Avengers' nightmare. Armageddon #2 pushes the David Colton gambit into the open. Can an unpredictable soldier break a predictable war? The shorts on this channel walk beat by beat through each chapter. This is the uninterrupted novel version. If you want every comic story told from the actual page, subscribe to Dele Lore. The Doom to Armageddon arc continues issue by issue on the channel.